The Cheewhat Giant is apparently the biggest tree in Canada, largest that is, not the tallest by any means, but as far as we know, or they know, whoever, it's the biggest one on record that's still standing. That's not to say there wasn't much bigger ones in the past. There's records of Douglas fir, for example, that stood at over 400 feet that were felled a long time ago, and it's not bullshit, it's actually true. You can look it up. But in those days it was you know, tall trees had only one worth, and that was through a sawmill, it seemed. But anyway, we're at this site. The Cheewhat Giant is the name of the tree, Western Red Cedar, and we're on southwest Vancouver Island, quite close to Carmanah-Walbran Provincial Park, but not quite there yet. So this logging road is Rosanda Main, and it should be quite easy to find. So somebody's thoughtfully put some flagging tape on both sides of the road, and there's a little pile of rocks and a sign telling you that the tree is down there somewhere. So we'll have a wander around. I'm going to take some gear with me, a stick, spear, bear spray, some food. Even though I don't think it's very far, it's always better to plan for the worst. So yeah, I'll just lock up the van. The van's covered in dust from the logging road. A long, tedious drive it is once you leave the Cowichan Lake village. It was that's probably the last place you'll get cell phone service, and that's about an hour and a half away. Whole journey is probably 3.5 hours from Victoria to get to here. So yeah, we'll start walking down. So we're in bear, wolf and cougar country. So I never take anything for granted, you know, it's not a joke. I'm not saying this for effect, but you know, as people, once we sort of step into this territory, we're no longer the apex predator anymore. We're probably about 4th down the list, unless we have a gun, which I don't. So you know, I've got some like hand size weapons and some bear spray. You're supposed to make a lot of noise when you're trekking. I've never felt comfortable with that. I always kind of do everything quietly and just keep my eyes and ears tuned in. But yeah, there was a woman killed just a few days ago by a black bear. It was on the news. So you have got to take it seriously and be quite cautious, especially if you're hiking alone. You know, I like to hike alone because I haven't got anybody else to worry about then. But you've got to keep your eyes and ears peeled and just look for signs, you know, because these animals use the trails too, because it's a lot easier than trekking through the bush. So you've got to be looking a long way ahead and listening and looking for tracks and drop-ins and whatever else. Red cedar was a really significant tree to the coastal indigenous people that used to live, and still do in a sense, around and through the North American coast, northwest coast. You know, it had so many uses, from the twigs right down to the roots. It was amazing. you know, just how much of it they utilised, and often kept the tree alive as well. You know, like, you know, from twine to rope to clothing, masks, tools, weapons, baskets, cribs, furniture, buildings, huge canoes, you know, totem poles that you see. They just used to use so much. There's a great book actually that you can get, and it's from it's called Cedar. That's the name of the book, and the author is a lady called Hillary, not Clinton, Hillary Stewart, and she's done a great job. Lots of diagrams and drawings of an artist's impressions of the uses and techniques for the different parts of the tree. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff how logical it all is, or was, so to speak. I mean, you still see totem poles around museums and, you know, carvings kind of plastered around the place at kind of landmarks, but I don't think you'll find anything original, certainly not up and down this coast of Vancouver Island, as far as I know. After the white, or sorry, should I say European settlers, or well, invaders you might call them too, but there's nothing new, is it? People have been invading each other for as long as we can remember. But when they with them they brought smallpox epidemic, which spread through the native communities, and they had no immunity to it and no defense really, and it wiped out like whole villages and almost destroyed them, you know, to the point of extinction. But for a few displaced individuals or groups who managed to escape the epidemic, but anyway, a lot of the villages were abandoned, and the totem poles and the structures that they made were burnt down by the missionaries, who and the government agents, who were obviously trying to bury the culture that was the start of it on the whole, and they burnt them down. They even cut them up for firewood in some cases, and sold some to collectors. Ugly business. Somebody's left a rope here. They must have known I was coming. Isn't it great when they do that? If you tied this rope on here, thanks very much. Really appreciate it. We're still heading downhill. There's another rope. It's easy going really. We're getting into bigger trees now. Hemlock mainly so far, and the Cheewhat Giant is set around the lake somewhere. There's a lake down at the bottom here, the Cheewhat Lake. It's all First Nations territory. I think, I forget what they're called, Tidat First Nations. It's their traditional land. So I'm still looking out for tracks. You can keep an eye out behind me there. Tell me if anything comes. So this is a route plate, believe it or not. This was on sort of medium-sized lens setting on the camera, so it will look smaller than what it is. That's about probably 20 foot high, what you can see there. Walk around the other side, and there's the tree, a red cedar. So yeah, what a big fella that is. There's a gap underneath. Looks like something's been lying down there, doesn't it? That's been a den of some sort. Look at that gnarly old beast there. God. I wouldn't want to attempt to put a saw in that one. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? What's in there? Probably nothing. I should get some photos of that later. You see that? Big cedar there, there's two of them. I just walked past that and I thought, is that it? Because it's the biggest tree I've come across in the last 10 minutes. And then there's another one here, another two. So decided that can't be them. These are big too. But I think it's gonna be that one over there. There's big cedars everywhere here, but I suspect it's that one. But I might be wrong again, because this is quite impressive too. It doesn't actually say how far away you are. This is it. We've got the sign. Yeah, it's unmistakably it. I was sort of dubious if this could be the biggest tree. It actually echoes in here, it's good. No, there's no doubt. Still got one, I'm still listening for noises. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's over 20 feet, around about 20 feet across, I think. Although it looks more than that. There's a couple of little hemlocks growing out of it. And it's sort of pushing 200 feet high. Yeah, it's cool. Lots of character. Ancient. Now I know there's bigger redwoods in the world, so if you're one of them people that likes to shout, "Our trees are bigger than your trees" and all that shite, then like I said earlier, there was Douglas fir here 400 foot and more. In fact, it might have been 450 feet, the biggest was measured at. But they're long since gone, and they were Douglas fir. but this is, like I say, the red cedar has a very special significance on the coast to the Aboriginal people, or First Nations, Indigenous, whatever you want to call them. So it's not the biggest in the world, but for this region it's something to be treasured for lots of reasons. I would fly the drone up there, but I don't know. What's the point? I'll just put this down to one side to give you a sense of scale. Rest it here. This is where you can get the echo. Walk down to the lake as well, down the hill behind us there. Just giving you one last look at the tree. But I don't think we'll go down to the lake because I'm not sure how far it is, and I assume it's much of the same, you know, big cedars with kind of intermittent hemlock, maybe a few spruce as we get lower down as well. I sort of had intended to fly the drone up, but it's pretty congested, the canopies. I'm trying to find a way through. It could easily, one wrong move and you fly into a branch and then you're down and the drone's ruined, or we're still hung up there somewhere. Anyway, besides that, you know, it still wouldn't do it justice. So come and see for yourself. That's probably the best thing to do. Not just the Cheewhat Giant, but some of the other big trees and regions that I've shown, some of the trails, some of the forests, and it's just the tip of the iceberg really. So get yourself out to the west coast of Canada. You won't regret it. Might be time to just show you a couple of other bits on the way home, because this didn't really take that long. So we might just drop in at a couple of sites on the way home. We'll just hike out of here first. No point hanging around because the trail only took 30 minutes at best. So I'll get back up to the van. 200 feet that. This is stood on the backside now. It's always hard to tell. I can't see the very tips of the dead top that's up there, but I've cut down trees 200 foot and above and been, you know, climbed over 200 feet to do it, and that isn't it. I don't know, that looks about 160 maybe, but from where I can see to anyway. Anyway, back to the van. I just walked around the back to have a look again from this side. So I didn't actually take the time to walk around here. Well, it's funny, and then when you stand under it, it looks bigger again. But when you stand back, you know, maybe more than 160, maybe 180, something like that. I don't see 200 feet in that tree though. Still impressive nonetheless. I mean, maybe there's parts of it have fallen since it was measured and recorded. A little hemlock growing out the side there. There's a bigger one round the other side, but that's nice, isn't it? It's kind of just clinging on. Hemlocks are just such great pioneers. Right, back to the van. Enough talk. So this is the Nitnat River. It's like a provincial park area. Look at this shit. You know, wouldn't you think, how much effort would it take to just take your garbage with you? You know, a place like this. They just dump the garbage. Anyway, have a walk down. So you can camp here for free. You're supposed to take care of it, clean it up yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't. So I'll just show you what we've got. It'll be quite a nice campsite. We've got the river here, which is beautifully clean. Cold but swimmable. Freezing cold make that, but you know, on a hot day you'd get in. I just wanted to show you this because there's two designated. This is on the way home, you see, on the way back to Cowichan Lake area, and I just wanted to show you these two sites which are designated provincial parks along the Nitnat River. Last time we were here there was big bear tracks. That's gorgeous, look at that. Cold, but not like bitterly cold. I don't think I've got time for a swim. So the river itself goes all the way to Nitnat Lake and then out to the sea. So the lake is not actually, it's a big lake, it's a few miles long I think, but it's not actually it's a fjord, so because it goes out to the sea, and a lot of the water, depending on the tide, is salt water, but it's just called Nitnat Lake, and that's where the reservation is, and it's a big windsurfing venue as well. So there's this site anyway, and we'll just go on a bit further to the other part of the provincial park, which is it's just a bit a few miles down the road, so both kind of separated. So this is the trailhead down to the river. This is how you recognize it. Against my better judgment at this time, I'm gonna go down there just to show you, because I'm a bit late now getting back. I should be on the way home now. I'm still messing about here, but just wanted to show you this part of the river further down. Hope you're interested in rivers. So you obviously don't want to make a mistake here and fall down, because you could get badly hurt, knocked unconscious or killed, because these rocks are slippy now. So it's good to have a walking stick, kind of put it down before you take a step. So I think people just come here and there's no sign of anyone, to be honest. There's no litter, no campfires, nothing down here. But you can come here and just mess about, you know, sort of climb around on the rocks, go swimming if you dare. It is deep in that bit. Amazing rock formations though. To say the water's very, very clean, but it'll be cold, not like that still bit before that we were on. See that make a nice swimming hole. It's not like you're gonna get sucked downstream or anything. Just in there, you wouldn't drown even if you got cramp, because there's a nice ledge to get onto. So this is Nitnat River, same as what we looked at before. And you can drop in here on your way to the Cheewhat Giant, or if the same road goes to Carmana or the Nitnat Lake.